Okay, so let's look at dividing with partial quotient. We talked about dividing using the box method. This is just another option that you can use if you need help with dividing. So let's go ahead and get started with the first problem. But first, let's look at our steps. So one, we will create a T-chart, and I showed you in class on how to create a T-chart. I also have a separate video just with some practice on using the T-chart to set up your multiplication. We will multiply by 10, which is basically adding 0 at the end to make our number as large as we can. So when we get to the dividend, we can subtract the largest number. 3, subtract the largest multiple. Step 4, I will repeat this process until I only have 0 as my remainder. And then the last step is to line up your partial quotients and add those all up. Let's go ahead and get started with the first one. 3,825 divided by 9. So the first step is to set up my T-charts. And I'm going to just do about 4. And we might need more, but I'll just stop right there. And again, I'm going to be timesing it by 10. So we already know we need to come up with my first 5. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. And we're going to be doing the exact same thing, but this time we're just going to add a 0. So 20, 30, 40, 50, and just add a 0 to your answer. So we already know that 10 times 9 gives me 90, 180, 270, 360, and then 450. Obviously, 450 is nowhere close to 3,000. So let's keep on pushing and again, just add another 0. This time we're going to times it by 100. Just add a 0. So 900, 1,800, 2,700. Okay, so now we can go ahead and we can stop right there because we're in the ballpark of where we need to go. So again, we want to get as close as we can to 3,825. So how many groups of 9 can we make that's as close as we can to that number? Which in this case would be 400 groups. We can make 400 groups of 9, so I will put that 400 on the outside. We know that 400 times 9 would give us 36,000. So now I would subtract. Step 3. Okay, so I have 225. I would go back to my T-chart area and figure out which number is as close as we can to get to 225 without going over. So without going over, we have about 20 groups of 9. So I'll put the 20 on the outside, and that gives me 180. Let's subtract again. So 5, I have to come and borrow. 12 take away 8, I get 4. So I have 45. So how many groups of 9 can we get into 45? In this case, it would be 5 groups. We have repeated all the way until we have 0 remainders. So now we are done. The last step is add up all of my partial quotients. The most important part to this is make sure you line them up in each place value. So in this case, 5, 2, 4. So in this case, my answer is 425. Let's try another one. Same thing. 5,474 divided by 7. First thing is to make my T-charts. And again, I'm going to just make 4 for right now. Depending on the number, we could make more to make it larger. All we need is the first 5. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Let's go to the next one. And again, all we're doing is just adding a 0. 70, 140, 280, and 350. Let's go one more time. Times 7, but this time we're going to times it by 100. So 700, 1,400, 2,100, okay, now yes, we could go on and see if we can get a bigger number, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to pause right there because we don't want to go over. So we're going to go ahead and just use our largest number that we have. So we see that 7 can go into 3,500 500 times. And I'll just put that on the outside. So 500 times 7, and we would subtract 4, 7. I have to borrow. That turned into a 4. 14, take away 5, I get 9, 1. Okay, going back to my T-chart, let's identify how many groups. And again, we wanted to get as close as we can to 1,974, which would be 200 groups. 200 groups, 1,400. 574 is my remainder. Let's keep going. So in this case, my next largest number that I could use, it'll be 50. And that's 350. That's 4. That's 2. That's 2. Let's keep going. We can use 30 groups, and that's 210. That's 4. And that's 1. So, of course, the last group would be 2 groups. And now I have 0. And then my last step, line up each one of my partial quotients and add them up. 2, 8, 7. 782 would be my answer. Let's just try one more. First things first, my T-charts. And this time my dividend or my divisor is 5. So I'm going to write the first facts for 5. Let's keep going. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. That goes in there. 50. Add a 0, 100, 150, 200, 250. Let's keep going. This time I'm going to times it by 100. That's 500. 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, and then my last one, 2,500. Now we could keep going, which in this case I am because we have a larger number. So I'm going to keep on going, and this time by 1,000. And we're just going to really use that first one, and then we're going to stop right there. So again, we know if we times that, we're going to get 5,000, which is what we need to get as close as we can, and then we'll stop. So in this case, we know that I'm going to put my 1,000 on the outside, 1,000 groups, In this case, it gives me 5,000. And then I'm going to subtract. So 5, 2, 2, 1. Okay, let's go back to our T-chart. And again, we want to get as close as we can to 1,225. So in this case, I see 1,000, and that's 200 groups. And that leaves me with 225. We're almost done. Let's go ahead and continue. I know that I can get 40 groups of 5 into 200, and I'm left with 25, which in this case would be 5 groups. 5 times 5, 25. Now, last step, add up my partials. 5, 4, 2, 1. 1,245 is my answer. Try this one as practice and drop your work, take a picture, and drop it in the comments. Let me see how you do.